meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Bob, Mario, it's Tony. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Anthony Tolenka, nice to meet you.
Come on and see him.
Thank you. So, as you already know, we're Anheuser-Busch. We're representing them today. So how are you enjoying your visit to Xavier today?
Very much, very much. It's a nice little break from retail.
Yeah.
Minute to minute.
Have you been on the campus before?
I have.
Yeah. Have you noticed like all the improvements? Like,
Oh,
over the
yeah,
years?
quite a bit of changes over the years.
Yeah, we're all
To the improvement.
seniors, so
Oh, yeah.
we've definitely seen like every aspect of change, like since we looked in when we were in high school and to now. It's amazing. So
Good. Excellent.
yeah. So your beer store, is it a family-owned business or how does that?
And so it's a second generation
Oh,
family-owned
wow, okay.
business.
Did you always want to run your family store then?
I always wanted to be in business. I'm not sure that I wanted to run the family store, but I'm happy I had the opportunity and it's
Excellent.
worked out great.
Oh, awesome. Well, Mario will go ahead and tell you a little bit more about us and we'll take it from there.
Good.
Yeah, so currently we noticed that you don't necessarily carry our line of products, and we're here to make sure that we can help you prosper in the future. So kind of a little bit of background who Anheuser-Busch is, what we do, how we can help you is. So we come from a long heritage of familial brewers just like yourself. We're about 5th or 6th generation, so we have a little bit more deeper roots into how we brew our beer, why we brew it that way, and we have strict quality standards that bring us to where we are today. So kind of how our product matrix works up is we have our big beer, and then we have our craft beers. We kind of have 2 consumers that we can cater to as well. So we've got our Bud Light, our Natural Light, the certain varieties and genres of those beers as well. And then we have our craft industry as well. We have our 312 Goose Island Brewing. We also have our Breckenridge, among others as well.
How are you targeting your craft beer?
So that's the best. So the unique part about Anheuser-Busch is that we have our craft beer that we can target to certain consumers in your area, but one of the best parts about Anheuser-Busch is that we also own our own agriculture side. So we grow our own hops, our barley, our wheat, which also we can bring into your business. So that's another value add that Anheuser-Busch can bring to your business. So let's say your Hyde Park beer store wants to do such a thing as Bob's Brew or something like that, to where you make, yeah, there you go. So you make your own beer, whether you name it or your story of why this beer is the way it is, you know, a familial piece is, yeah, my dad and I started our home brew, now we want to bottle it, but we don't necessarily have the capability to source all the hops, the wheat, the barley. We can not only provide you with the staples that your consumers want, such as your Bud Light, your other craft, but we can also provide you with your signature brew ingredients that help you make sure that you're different in that area. You've got your other potential competitors in your area, but none of them have this aspect that they can get their big business resources as far as the agricultural products to make Bob's Brew and have big beer and other crafts.
So I would imagine you've done your marketing research in my general area where I'm drawing from.
Yeah.
Are there any competitors that are doing that kind of home brew?
So that's why we're here, to make sure that we add value to you. Currently, you're the only customer that we're in negotiations with as far as this piece. So we are trying to bring our products into this area.
So if we were to go make a deal on this, especially this home brew quote unquote thing,
Yeah.
what's the likelihood that a week after I sign that contract that you're going to be down the street with Billy Bob selling the exact same thing?
Yeah, so that can be, so the best part about craft beer is that everyone is different. You can brand yours as why it's going to be different. Here's why Bob's Brew is different. Here's why we got the story behind it. And that's another thing in craft brew is sometimes the beer isn't necessarily as important as the story behind the beer. So your story is really what is going to sell your craft beer. Another advantage to Anheuser-Busch is we have over 500 wholesale supplier partnerships, but we also have our own distribution center and facilities in nearby in Ohio. So
how would that impact me?
So that greatly impacts you as well, because you have the customizability of those 500 distribution centers to say, hey, I really only need 1 case of this and I need it tomorrow. Or hey, I need 50 kegs and I can get that within the week. So you have the ability of a massive supply chain that we can bring either 1 case or 100 cases to you on your schedule and at your demand. And so we've got the big beer, the craft beer, your beer, and then we can kind of talk a little bit more about how your market fits the demographic and how we can bring our beer and customers to your store. Anthony will talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, good.
So to add on to what Mario said, your location in Hyde Park is perfect for many reasons. The first being, it's a very young area. There's a lot of young professionals. Young professionals love craft beer, and as Mario was saying, Anheuser-Busch has 8 different craft beer options, the most popular being the 312 Goose Island. So that's a great opportunity. The young professionals love it, but then at the other side, Hyde Park is really in between 2 campuses, being Xavier University and the University of Cincinnati. So with the 2 colleges, we're also going to have the college beer, the Bud Light, the Budweiser, the Natural Light, kind of beer that the younger college kids like to kind of get and stuff like that. So it's really an opportunity for both the young professionals to succeed and the college kids because of your area.
Do you do localized market research, or said differently, you know, I'm going to be hamstrung in doing much in the way of market research for the area that I serve, you know, and so the idea that craft beer is trending up, I know that. I just don't know within, you know, my reach exactly what kind of craft beer is going to sell better than others. So do you provide any like marketing research capability as a wrap around your products?
Yeah, we absolutely could do that for you and kind of cater that to where what you need as far as like, all right, do we want to sell porters in this area? Do we want to sell vanilla porters? Do we want to sell IPAs, etc.? And a lot of that information, besides the actual analytical and talking to the customers, can be established from the current beer market that we're in, right? We have downtown Cincinnati of Rheingeist, Mad Tree. You have all these different craft beers, and if we look at it, we have kind of a spreadsheet of saying IPAs are selling the best this time of the year. Our cream ales sell really good in the summer based on the refreshing, et cetera, et cetera. And so we can kind of cater that knowledge that we have of the current beer industry in Cincinnati and bring it to your store and execute those marketing strategies based on seasonality, consumer, customer, et cetera.
Do you put restrictions on, so like if we were going to do business, would part of your contracting put restrictions on me on other brands that I currently carry that you would say they need to go out? Or if I wanted to add other brands? I just want to know how locked in.
Yeah, so the beauty of that is that we have a umbrella, essentially a parent company, AB InBev, that does own SAB Miller as well. So the benefit to partnering with Anheuser-Busch is you're really getting that flexibility of other brands in that portfolio as well, right? We want to sell you Bud Light, Natural Light, et cetera, but you have the freedom as an owner and operator to bring in Miller, to bring in Coors. And the reason why we're bringing you our beer is because we know it's the best and we can prove to you it's the best. We've given you the consumers that come in, they know what they want. I'm a Bud Light drinker. If I go to the store and it doesn't have it, I'm going to leave. I want Goose Island because I have friends from Chicago that are coming in and that's where it's from. Goose Island's going to be in your store. So as far as the brand and contract that we would limit you to, I think it kind of goes as we're saying, we're coming in with that kind of open area saying, we know we have the best product, we know we have the product that's going to sell you the most. And so as far as that portfolio of limitations, that doesn't necessarily apply.
How about supply? You know, like there's nothing worse for a retailer than to be out of something and the next customer comes in and says, do you have X, Y, Z? And so sometimes that's difficult for a little local, you know, to do that kind of inventory management. Is there any kind of wrap that you can help with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And so that kind of goes back into our supply chain based on our partnerships with our wholesalers that have access to not only our beer, but our potential, you know, it's the Goose Island. So our beer, when I say that, I mean our big beer, our Bud Light and stuff like that, to where your volume is going to be higher on your big beer, so your Bud Light, and your versus your craft beer, but at the same time, you want to have both of those supply always there. So that's kind of the value we bring as well, right? The supply that you need will always be there given our network of distributors, wholesalers, and if both of those command posts fail, we do have a localized distribution facility that has all of our brand portfolio within 3 hours of your location.
So you know that guy down the street here, Billy Bob, he's a competitor and is really a pain in the butt, that guy. If we did business would there be any way that we could just kind of like make a deal that you'd give him like poor stuff, I mean like bad beer, so that his customers are driven out of his store? Because I'd just as soon put him out of business.
So I think that's kind of a double-edged sword here, and the reason that AB InBev and Anheuser-Busch has their quality standards and the reputation that we have today is because our customers are the core center of our business. We treat each and every one of our customers as essentially our family. Our products are going to be consistent no matter who we sell them to, and so that's just an area of business that we're not interested in.
So how does this all sound to you?
Well, it sounds pretty good. I'm actually curious as to why we have none of your brands. I mean, it seems a little bit odd to me. I mean, do you have any historical reference or guess, or, because I don't really know.
Yeah, so given the new affluent population rising in Hyde Park, it's a new market that we're trying to hit. So we're essentially bringing our beer to you. And so by bringing you the craft beer, the big beer like Bud Light, etc., into these areas that haven't necessarily had it before, we can also give you that primary or initial contact to our brand. So essentially when we bring the customers to you and we can benefit your business, wouldn't that be something that you'd be interested in?
Well, it does sound appealing to me. I mean, if I were to do this, what's the likelihood that 6 months from now, you're gonna feel like you've hooked this fish and now you're gonna like up your prices? So I'm concerned about that.
So our prices definitely do depend on volume, but at the end of the day, we can offer you a consistent contract that we will lay out and it won't change based on that. We will have our set prices and then you will get your volume discounts as far as, you know, if you order in bulk that makes it beneficial for our logistics systems, we'd be happy to help you out on that price aspect. But our prices kind of stay consistent unless we do have, whether it's raw material dramatically increases, whether it's regulations that now force us to produce a bigger or smaller container. That will be in our rider on our contract, but we're happy to work with you with any questions or limitations.
On the craft beer side of things, do they have a shorter shelf life, you know, than the quote unquote traditional? Is there a shelf life difference that?
So some of our products are packaged with certain CO2 canisters and nitrous oxide canisters that do prevent that from becoming an issue, especially with.
Is that the gas that makes you talk like Daffy Duck?
So especially in some of our like our the way we brew our beer, it's either via carbon dioxide that carbonizes our beer, or it's via nitrous that makes the beer a different consistency and preference and taste. And so, yes, to answer your question, yes it is, but it's in a canister that keeps the beer at the right carbonation and sediment levels. So as far as shelf life between the two, there is a certain shelf life that once we do, we will rotate the product out. But especially with Anheuser-Busch's products, we wouldn't have an issue with that given the popularity.
And we can provide you with information about the beers that we're giving to, especially in the craft beer selection, because we want you to be knowledgeable about the different styles and textures, flavors, that kind of thing.
So aside from, or in addition to that guy down the street that I really like to put out of business, I'm really getting tired of hearing people saying that they're going downtown, they're going to OTR because they got all that craft beer stuff.
Right.
And so I'd like to capture some of that market.
Absolutely.
So what do I need to do?
I think you need to sign with Anheuser-Busch and we can get started.
Anthony, what do you think I ought to do?
I have to agree.
Do you think you could slip me a couple extra cases in this deal? I mean, you don't have to tell them.
Tell you what, we'll do a tasting right now.
Yeah,
We'll do a
let's
tasting,
pull out a
we're gonna
tasting.
give you what you're gonna be selling, and after that, I swear we'll make a deal.
Yeah. I have 4 different of our craft beers in the back of my car. I could get them for you and be back in a couple of minutes.
Sounds perfect, there's 4 of us. Is there anything else that I should have been asking you that I wasn't smart enough to ask you?
I think we covered all our bases. We've realized that we both can be mutually beneficial in this, which is very important for the Anheuser-Busch family.
Cool.
All right, so do
Great.
we have a deal?
We have a deal.
Awesome.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Excited.